Monster Zero, or some of you might know it through its official title, Invasion of Astro Monster. Others might know it as Invasion of the Astros. Still, others would know it as Invasion of the Astro Monsters, and still, people would know this as Godzilla vs. Monster Zero. There's so many titles for this film, there's too many for this video. This film is notable for many things, including the use of stock footage, the usage of old soundtracks, and for the second time in G history, American is part of the cast, but it is the first time where he's actually with the original cast on set. In this case, Nick Adams. He portrays astronaut Glenn alongside Akira Takarada, who portrays astronaut Fuji. They're basically the most uncanny duo in this film. They actually get along okay. And yes, this is the first from this film onwards in America. Every Godzilla film has been edited to have a G rating. I know it could be an Easter egg reference, or it's just to get as high profits as possible to try to Disneyfy it. The film opens with our popular duo in sometime after 1969, considering that first man to land on the moon landed there, and the movie was ambiguous, saying it's 1960X. So considering that we take the moon landing into account, this takes place sometime in the 1970s. And a popular duo is seen traveling past Jupiter, which looks really off color in this one. They go to a satellite behind it called Planet X, where surprise surprise they encounter King Ghidorah, or how Nick Adams portrays it, King Ghidorah. Also proved that King was used in Ghidorah's name long before 1991. However, they are saved midway in the battle by a couple of sentient alien beings on a planet called Exilians, or as you guys would know in the earlier prints, the Exians, Exians, whatever, take your pick. They're officially called the Exilians, and they sort of saved them and rebuilt their ship because King Ghidorah kind of destroyed it, and they decided to strike a deal with them to lend them Godzilla and Rodan to fight against King Ghidorah, and he could stop terrorizing their planet once again. They willingly agree as they have seen the calamities that Godzilla is noticeably doing since 1954, and they do so, and for some reason they had to carry them in a weird fetal position. As they managed to find them and they warped them away from Earth, all the way to Planet X, at light speed too, and they are dumped right into the fray with King Ghidorah. And surprisingly, the duo makes short work of it, even without Mothra's assistance. Because if you guys saw my last video, Mothra tried to fight Ghidorah all by herself, but she was overwhelmed. Then Godzilla joined her, and the two tried to make short work of it, but they were nearly strangled to death. And Rodan finally joins in, and they were finally able to route him back to space. Now, no one knows what happened in between this one and this one and the last film, but it's safe to say that either they got stronger or King Ghidorah got weaker. Anyway, the trio makes short work. Did I say trio? I mean duo. The duo made short work of them in a couple of minutes while everyone watches from behind a glass barrier or something. And as soon as they were able to take down King Ghidorah and send him packing, Godzilla does one of the most memorable things you could do after a monster fight. And to make it even better, they even added footsteps to amount to the cheesiness of the American version. A happy moment. But it wasn't gonna be so happy for Haruo Nakajima, because those two scenes, they were improvised by him. Supposedly it was to lighten the mood or a victory dance after shooting the final shot for filming. It was so out of the blue that he feared he would get fired for that. But they did get mad with him, but they decided to keep it in to add some lightheartedness to the film. So yeah, that's what happened. I mean, everyone walked home happy because he got lucky. He dances, staff got mad at him. He thought he was going to get fired, but no, they kept a shot at him. Everyone went home happy. And it was one of the cheesiest moments of the G-series, starting a trend of Godzilla and cheesiness. Now, eventually they were able to get home on a replica of a ship that was faster, better, and safer. Exclaimed by Exilians. And the only reason why Glenn and Fuji did this is so they could acquire a cure. Said that could cure cancer or all diseases, depending on which version you were watching. So they go back home to receive a hero's welcome. However, before they go home, they see Godzilla and Rodan at the bottom pleading to take them home with them, as if they didn't want to stay there for long, as if they're worried that something big is approaching, or mainly just them begging, "Don't leave us! Don't leave us!" Yep. Anyway, once they played at the dot, it was revealed to be nothing but a trap. Surprise, surprise. The aliens declare Earth under their control. They have the chance to surrender. And if not, they'll annihilate humanity with King Ghidorah. Which, at this point in time, has appeared in the United States, destroying cities like Seattle, San Francisco, Los Angeles, El Paso, Jacksonville, New York, Portland, you name it. At the same time, Godzilla and Rodan reappear, and for some reason, they don't seem to be rampaging on their own will. I mean, one thing, they look kind of happy when they realized they were home, but as revealed later, they were brainwashed. All of them. Godzilla and Rodan kind of knew about this, but they couldn't figure out a way to break free. So, while Godzilla is out kicking houses and Rodan is just blowing things away with his wind, and yes, that was just years before they introduced the geranium heat beam, Fuji and Glenn end up investigating on their own. I mean, earlier they actually saw all the Exilians look alike, regardless of men or women. And eventually there was a bit of a love feud between Fuji and this Nanikawa person. Not Fuji, Glenn. As we see that Glenn is the usual American womanizer. And he finds out that she's allied with the Exilians a bit too late, as they end up killing her and capture him, and they throw him in a cell alongside another guy who Fuji seems to despise for being a jobless loser who can't seem to sell any inventions. Little does he know that invention would be the key to victory, as the Exilians are weak against a certain high-pitched frequency. They figure out about this once they break out of the cell, and they were barely able to escape with their lives after the Exilians bombarded a ship that they were going to take. So they make it back, they tell their findings, and they were able to broadcast it throughout all of Japan. And such, the plan works. The Exilians die, and King Ghidorah is broken free of alien control, as well as Godzilla and Rodan. As soon as they've broken free, Rodan and Godzilla turn their anger on King Ghidorah and start pummeling him. I mean pummeling. This is where stock footage comes to play. Rodan and King Ghidorah's fight showed stock footage from Rodan and the Mysterians. Whereas for Godzilla and King Ghidorah, I think they used stock footage from Varan or Mothra, maybe even Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster. Anyway, something of that fight. And just like Mothra riding Rodan to get a good vantage point at King Ghidorah, Rodan grabs Godzilla and carries him. And style almost familiar to that throw from Destroy All Monsters and Unleash, where he just swings his enemy in the air and kicks him towards something. Rodan simply throws Godzilla onto King Ghidorah, toppling him, and sending the three monsters into free fall, fighting until they reach the ocean. Similar to how King Kong vs. Godzilla and Mothra vs. Godzilla did. Eventually, some time passes, and out comes King Ghidorah, flying back into space. Now, this is where the ending gets a bit ambiguous, because, for starters, unlike King Kong vs. Godzilla or Mothra vs. Godzilla, there is no clear victor. I mean, you just see King Ghidorah fly away, as if he was cackling in either glee or terror. You don't see Godzilla or Rodan surfacing out of the sea, and all speculation is being left to the viewer because the movie ends right there with Glenn and Fuji going back to Planet X because they're being their first ambassadors. What a way to end the film. So yeah, the ending is up for you guys to decide. Did Godzilla and Rodan win? Did King Ghidorah win? Or were they in a draw? Anyway, the film is notable for many things, especially for its special effects. I mean, you watch that film, it looks awesome. Most of it, like 90% of it, is still held up to today's standards. I mean, rockets, space, anything involving space, it looks amazing, detailed. Some of it even beats modern effects of today. However, you can still see some strings and whatnot, and the soundtrack isn't as good as it used to be. And most notably, the cinematography is a bit off in a couple of edges, as well as the use of stock footage that's been extensive in this film. This is when the screenwriting and everything starts to get a bit campy and cheesy. So this, in my opinion, is considered the last good Godzilla film by the original crew. Why? Well, it's under the direction of Ishiro Honda, Tomoyuki Tanaka, special effects by Tsuburaya, music by Ifukube, screenplay by Sekizawa, almost all of them return. Though you can see how their efforts are starting to wane over the past couple years. Though it's still a good monster movie. I recommend you guys watch it. It's really good. If you can, find a version where you can hear all of Nick Adams' lines in English and the original cast in Japanese. Similar to how Final Wars did it, you know? That's the best way to experience it, because I'm glad that the Criterion DVD of the Showa collection actually had the English track as a little bonus. So I could actively switch between Japanese and English. Though that may take some rewinding because sometimes my PS4 dubs passes over some stuff in English. Plus, hearing Nick Adams speak Japanese doesn't sound good in my ears, in my opinion at least. But still, this is one of the best monster films out there. Not as good as the first 5, but still worthy of viewing. I mean, some special effects are pretty bad, but the good outweighs it. The cinematography, screenplay, writing start to get campy and niched and cliched, it's still a good film to watch. I mean, the romance subplot, Nick Adams' funny one-liners, the unique special effects. I mean, it's awesome. You guys should watch this film. And as always, keep on stomping.